Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, hello, how are you? My name is Gina and thank you so much for joining us here today. I hope you like it here and I hope you stick around. If you are returning, thank you so much for coming back. I truly appreciate it. So as you can see, today's video, we are hanging out in the Hoya grow tent. I thought it might be fun. This was like totally unplanned. I was in the grow tent yesterday and there's just so much going on in here right now that I decided that it might be fun to just hang out. So I think we did this once before. I called it the Hoya Hangout, where we just hang out in the grow tent together. I show you a bunch of plants, we chat, we talk a lot, and we have some fun. Or I talk a lot, and I was sure I brought something to drink today because I know I'm gonna need it, because I'm going to be talking too much. For those of you who like the blabbing, you're going to love this. So anyway, yeah, that's the plan for this video. So I'm going to sit down because I'm not going to stand through the whole thing, but I just kind of wanted to give you so you can see what's going. Okay, here's my fan that you've been seeing, but just so you can see, what this tent entails. It is a jungle in here. We're going to talk about this jungle. I'm going to show you this jungle and let's have some fun. Okay, so I think this is a good spot. Do you think this is a good spot? You can, yeah. Unfortunately, there's these poles. This pole in the middle of the tent gets in the way, but okay, so this is my Hoya grow tent. Most of the Hoyas in my collection are in this tent. So this is for the new people who don't know. So I keep my grow tents in the basement. So this grow tent is an 8x8 by 8 maybe, or 8x8 by 7. I'm not sure, maybe 8x8 by 6. Anyway, it's 8 this way, it's 8 this way, and I'm not sure what it is this way. So, but it's a pretty big tent, and I have 2 of these tents. I have the Hoya tent, Hoyas and Dischidias. And then I have the other tent is aeroids, or it's not all aeroids. It's some, there's anthuriums. I mean, okay. There's anthuriums, there's begonias, there's syngoniums. What else is in there? A lot of the bigger plants. Pretty much everything but Hoyas and Dischidias are in that other tent. So those are the 2 tents, and the other tent is the same size as this tent. So the tent, I told you guys I struggled with keeping humidity and temperature perfect in this tent. So both of my tents have they both have a filtration system to try and help with stink because warm, humid places get a musty smell, and so the charcoal filters are there to help with that smell, and they do. Actually, I think they need replacing. I think it's time to replace those filters. And then also, when it gets too warm in the tent, I have an exhaust fan. Both tents have an exhaust fan, so if it gets too warm, and I do have a temperature controller and a humidity controller on the tent, so if it gets too warm, the exhaust kicks on and it sucks out the hot air. So I was struggling with that, especially more so in the summertime. I struggle with high temps and low humidity in my grow tents because it's warmer. It's warmer in the summertime. It's warmer in my basement in the summertime. So the temperatures really, they can get up there. So last year I had my temperature set. I think the highest I let it get in the tent was, I think I had it set at like 84 or 83. Or maybe even 82. I can't remember. Because they say ideal temps for plants are between, is it like 70 and 80 degrees? So I was putting it at, I think it was 82 I had it at. I was trying to keep it in that perfect temperature zone. So the exhaust was kicking on a ton, and humidity was dropping, and plants were struggling. Not so much the Hoyas, because they can do much better in ambient, but in my other tent, the begonias, they struggled so badly. So I'm experimenting. I'm trying something new. I have raised the temperature to 86 degrees. So instead of 82 degrees, I wait for the temperature in the tent to get to 86 degrees before the controller kicks on the exhaust. And it's actually working out really, really well right now. Yeah, I'm really happy with the results so far. It is cooler months. We're still technically in winter, almost spring. It's March. What? We're almost in spring. So we'll see what happens in the summertime with my new system. I don't know. Hopefully it works well. But the humidity is staying higher, and the heat doesn't seem to be hurting the plants, because I was just more concerned about heat hurting plants. But you know, like people who have outdoor greenhouses, the temperatures in their greenhouses can get over 100 degrees, and they also have exhaust fans on their outdoor greenhouses, but still the temperatures stay pretty high. So I think we'll be okay. I think the higher temps in the grow tents will be okay, but you know, we will see. We'll see. So I think that's all I wanted to tell you about the grow tents. Yeah, so basically what we're going to do is I'm just going to show you some plants. I'm going to show you Hoyas, I'm going to show you Dischidias, show you how they're growing. I'm really happy with so many. Some are just like really surprising me, and they're just so amazing that I just have to show them off. So I hope you enjoy this. So let me grab the first one. The one that, actually this is the one I'm most excited about. So hang on. All right, so this little cutie right here, this here is called the Hoya tengchongensis. So I have actually kind of struggled with this plant. Here, let me get you up close. You see, it is not a perfect little plant. We have some crispies here, right there. There's some crispies on the top. But this one has recently, I don't know if it's the change, like what I've made the change in the temperature and the humidity, subsequent humidity because of this temperature change has just really made this one explode. But it has exploded. Can you tell? You wouldn't know by looking at it that it is in much better shape now than it was even like a month ago. So I'm super excited about this one. It's an adorable tiny little leaf Hoya, and it's kind of like, it reminds me a lot of serpens, Hoya serpens, only I think the leaves can be a little bit smaller than the serpens. But I'm just so impressed with this plant right now. Very impressed. And I'm gonna just see if I can pick off that little dried bit there. Yeah, get rid of the little dried bit. So yeah, this is the first one. This is the one I'm just most excited about. Just the wonderful change I have seen in this plant, Hoya tengchongensis. And it stays, if you're struggling with this plant, so it stays moist. It does like water, I have found, so it pretty much stays moist all the time. I don't let it dry out. It never really dries out. It's in a chunky soil mix, so that makes a difference. But if you're not going to let it dry out, make sure you have a chunky, airy soil mix. But yeah, very happy right now. Now its counterpart, let me show you its counterpart. That is not, basically is what this looked like, what this used to look like. Although maybe the tengchongensis has always looked a little bit better. But here is my Hoya serpens. It looks okay down here. Doesn't look terrible. This is Hoya serpens silver, actually. I propagated this. You see, let's see, look at all this crusty, yellow, horrible looking. Many times I have considered throwing this one away, just getting rid of it, because I did propagate it recently, and even the propagations, I think I actually pitched all the propagations. I did. None of them would take. They're just like stagnant and not doing anything. And so this plant is so frustrating to me, Hoya serpens. I don't know if it's because I've always started out with just a small specimen. You know, I started out as cuttings instead of just getting myself a big plant from the beginning. But anyway, I love tengchongensis so much more than I do this Hoya serpens. This is actually Hoya serpens silver, so I paid a premium price for the silver. I think it was a 1 node 2 leaf cutting. Very expensive. That's what makes this even more frustrating. And the silver part, I believe, is totally gone. I think it's gone. I think what I had left of the silver I propagated, and those propagations didn't take. So silver is gone. But when they sent me the silver version, the silver variety, they also included for free, they included a splash, a serpent splash, and that's what this is. That's what's left of this plant. So I don't know, and it's not even that very splashy. I don't know that it even shows up, but can you even see a little bit of splash on that? Maybe. A lot of yellow on it. Not what you want. But yeah, I don't know that this one, I don't know, we'll see. Maybe the new conditions in the grow tent will make a difference for this one. Very likely it will, because I mean, there's some new growth here. You see this? It's a new growth point there. So yeah, I'm not going to give up on this one. But I'm not happy with this one. Definitely not happy with this one. But very extremely ecstatic, happy with the tengchongensis. So that's the first thing I wanted to show you guys. Okay, before I show you this next gorgeous, beautiful plant, some of you might be wondering why do I have a grow tent filled with so many plants? You can see all these plants around me. Okay, so the reason for it is because I have a plant shop, an online plant shop called thepinktrellis.com, where I sell propagations from my plants. So all of the plants that I sell are homegrown. I do not source plants from other places. It's just they start as propagations from my own plants. So that is the reason why I have this grow tent. In case you're wondering, am I a hoarder? Well, I guess technically I'm a hoarder, but I do sell my plants. So, and you can go to my website if you want. There are some plants available. I am uploading every week. I've been doing on Wednesdays. I used to do Fridays. Now I do Wednesdays because shipping on Thursdays is so much faster than shipping on Mondays. That is the reason for it. But anyway, and I'll show you some of the plants that are in my shop right now. Not right this second, but a little later maybe. If I remember, I'll show you some things that are available, and even maybe some things that are up and coming. But anyway, this right here is a Hoya that I am so excited about. Not just because it is beautiful. This is Hoya paradisea. I don't know. It looks like it's spelled paradisea. So, how do you pronounce it? I don't know. You can make up your own pronunciation, like I do. But yeah, this is just an amazing grower. This started out as a cutting. It started out as a cutting, okay? It's amazing. But the thing I am most excited about with this one is, do you see this little peduncle right here? Right here. I don't know if it's even showing up. Right. Hopefully you can see it, right? Right there. Right there. Will that eventually bloom? I have no idea. Do I hope it will? Of course. But I noticed it the other day. I think it's the only one. I noticed it had it the other day. I'm going to put up a pic. There's another one. There are two. This one is much bigger. I want to be sure I don't knock it off. It actually looks like it has, it's like a more mature peduncle. Right there. See it? Right, sticking down, right. I can't get my finger right there, right there. That is another peduncle. And it kind of looks like maybe it has bloomed before. Or maybe it blasted. Maybe it has tried in the past and it blasted. That's a possibility. But anyway, I'm very excited about this one. And I do enjoy the growth pattern on this one immensely. I think it's so cool. It reminds me a lot, and I'm going to show you. It reminds me, let me grab it. We can put them side by side. It reminds me a lot of my favorite plants from last year. I did a top 25 Hoyas of 2025. This was number 1. It's very similar. This is Hoya aligantha. You see how similar they are? I really enjoy this growth pattern. It doesn't even really look like a Hoya. They don't really I don't know, they just don't really look like Hoyas, not classic Hoyas. So very similar plants. This one, aligantha, the leaves are a little bit smaller and the distance between nodes is a little tighter. They just look like feathers. They're so beautiful. So incredibly beautiful. Let's see if this one has any peduncles. I'm curious. It's very drippy. A lot of my plants are very drippy because I am constantly watering them. I don't think I see any peduncles. No, not seeing. But this plant here is younger than this plant. This one's a little bit older. So this one's been growing with me a bit longer than this one. But aren't they just gorgeous? Oh my goodness. Oh, I love them. So beautiful. Yeah, so beautiful. Okay. Next, what do I want to show you next? All right, so here's a little bit of an update on my Hoya New Guinea Ghost. Not New Guinea Ghost. Hoya Argentea Princess. So this one was bigger. Do you remember? You may not even remember. This was a bigger plant, and I had no intention of propagating this plant. However, it kept toppling over, kept wanting to topple over, which was annoying to me, so I decided to chop it. Isn't it beautiful? So I'm going to put in some, I don't feel like moving the camera. So here are the propagations. In fact, let me grab one. The one that is doing the best, I would say. This one right here. This is actually what you'd call the top cut. It was the top of the vine that I chopped. This is just a one vine plant. Although it looks like there might be a new growth point. Yep, there's a new growth point. You won't be able to see it, but it is popping out of the bottom of the stem. That's exciting. That's very exciting when that happens. Probably happened because I chopped this one. So chopping your plants can be a good thing. It can make new growth points come out. But yeah, this will be in my shop eventually. It is pretty rooted, I think, but I'm still letting it go a little longer. I don't know why. Or maybe I'm going to keep this as a backup for this one and I'll sell the other ones. I think that's what I'll do. The other ones aren't, I haven't pushed out any new growth yet. But yeah, I love this plant. It's such a beauty. Argentea Princess. I'm not sure if the prices are coming down on these yet. Hopefully they are. But, and you know, I say hopefully they're coming down. That doesn't, you know, bode well for me as a seller, but I'd rather everybody be able to get the plants that they want at a good price. So, and when I price my plants, I typically go to Etsy and I check what other sellers are charging, and I don't go the highest and I don't go the lowest. I'll go somewhere in between. I'll price my plants somewhere in between that, typically. All right, next, what can we, I have a sad one to show you. A sad update. They can't all be happy updates. So my Hoya carrii with a C started struggling. It was a pretty big plant. Here it is. Here's the struggle bus. This is the original right here. Started struggling. You see it's yellowing. It's, you know, the leaves are, something's going on with the roots, basically. Probably has, you know, could have gotten dry rot when it dried out too much in the tent and I didn't. That's probably what happened. This one's a kind of a thirsty one and I think it probably got some dry rot. I think it's not entirely, it hasn't lost all the roots, but it has lost some roots. And when it was such a giant big plant, it could not, with the weakened root system, it could not handle it, and all the leaves just started wrinkling. So I took evasive action and I chopped it up. This is one of them. Looks good, looks better than my original. And then I'll include video here of all the rest of them. I have a lot of propagations of this plant because it was a big plant and it started struggling. So if you have a Hoya, a beautiful Hoya, and it suddenly leaves start wrinkling and it's not, and the soil's wet and the leaves are wrinkled, you have an issue with your roots and you definitely need to take action. You need to make yourself some cuttings of that plant and don't put it off. You don't want to, because if you take cuttings of a wrinkled, struggling plant, the chances of those cuttings being successful is not as good as if you took the cutting from a healthy, plump leaf, if that makes sense. So the quicker you take action, the better luck you're going to have. I had to do the same thing. I'll show you the other plant I had to do that with also. I had to do the same thing with this one. This is the obcordata, Hoya obcordata. It was basically doing the exact same thing as the carrii was doing. It was just like getting all wrinkled. So I took a bunch of propagations of it. I chopped, this is the original mother plant here. She looks good now. I think she recovered. I removed a lot of the growth and it was able to recover. And let me just grab one of her propagations here. Doing really well. So, you know, this will eventually get into my shop. I'll probably keep one for myself as a backup also, which I like to do, kind of like with my African violets. If I have a plant I really love, and there's a chance it could just decide to try to unalive itself, I have a backup. For it. So I'm not sure if I have any others that have been in a similar situation to these, where I had to chop them after they're just looking poorly wrinkled. Yeah, I can't think of any others that have done that recently. But yeah, you should never lose a Hoya. If it's a pretty decent sized plant, you should never completely lose that plant, because you can always take cuttings of it. Unless your cuttings also unalive themselves, like my Hoya Serpent Silver did. So, but yeah, for the most part, you should never completely lose a Hoya plant. They're just amazing plants. They're so easy to, for the most part, so easy to propagate. Not all of them, obviously. I've shown you examples of that. Okay, here's this is a good update here. So if you remember, I have a Hoya Mathilde variegated. And here, look, just look. This is fantastic. So, okay, this is the original plant. And you can see, so this is an original leaf down here. I purchased this as a cutting, unrooted cutting, which is always risky. We'll go into that, but anyway, so I planted the cutting, and the new growth that came out of it was reverted. So I let it grow. Actually, what happened was it put out reverted leaves, and then I would put out one variegated leaf, and then I would put out more reverted leaves, and then I'd get one variegated leaf. So it kind of was doing that nonsense, which they like to do sometimes. So I chopped the plant back, and this is the chop. I feel like I had more than one chopping, I don't know. But you can see it started doing the same nonsense. So here's where I chopped a variegated leaf here, and then it put out reverted leaves. But look, the next leaf, at least one of them, it might be doing that. One leaf is, so two leaves come out at one node, one leaf is variegated, the other leaf is not. It might be doing that. Sometimes these guys like to do that. But this here, after I chopped it, put out a new growth point, and every single one of those leaves is variegated. Success, you guys. Success. Because I thought I just wasted so much money on a Hoya Mathilde variegated that was reverting. I was like, I'm never, plus not only was it reverting, it was kind of struggling. It was kind of looking really bad. But yeah, I'm so proud of myself, you guys, that I was able to reverse the course that this plant was on, the reverted course it was on, and bring it back to a beautiful variegated plant. So yeah, you just have to, if that happens to you, you just chop above the last variegated leaf, like the leaf that looks good to you, that you want the plant to look like, the entire plant to look like. You chop above the right above that leaf node, and hope, cross your fingers and hope that new growth that comes out will be what you want it to look like. In my case, a variegated Hoya Mathilde leaf. So yeah, I'm super thrilled. Isn't this just beautiful? It's such a cute small leaf Hoya. Just so excited about this. And even this one, even though it's doing the one leaf variegated, one leaf not, and I know we'll see what happens with this one. I can tell. So there's another tiny little leaf there. I can tell there's no variegation on that leaf. So we'll see what happens with this one. I'm gonna let it go. I may end up chopping this one also and see, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I feel very confident that I have solved the problem with this one. Yay. So now I thought I would show you some of my fastest growing Hoyas in my collection here. And here's one. You can see it is a fast growing, super fast. So this here is the Hoya campanulata Splash. Insane. These guys are insane. I have a bunch of them like down here also growing back there. They're huge. They're just, I'm actually trying to sell this one locally, Facebook Marketplace. Because they're just so, I mean, it's just so big. I can't hardly easily ship this thing because the packaging would be huge and the cost would be very expensive. So yeah, I'm trying to sell these locally, a lot of these big ones. But Campanulata Splash, it gets the most amazing flowers. And I will have these in my shop again, but smaller versions, or maybe I'll even like chop some of these bigger ones back and sell smaller versions just so it's easier to ship. But that's a crazy fast grow. It's very beautiful. Love the splash on that. That one, and then my other one would be oh yeah, okay. This is a good example of crazy growing. The other one would be, oh my gosh, the vine is, Coriaceae silver. Here's all of its vine. These guys are amazing. They're just amazing growers. Like, isn't it beautiful? I love this plant, although I'm not a super fan of how aggressively it grows. I need trellises for these guys. Anyway, just wanted to show you couple of my fastest growers. Another fast grower, which is actually one. Oh, and I actually have one of these for sale in my shop. It's not I mean, it's bigger than, actually, since I took the picture for the shop, it has put out more growth a little bit. Probably should update that picture. But another one that is kind of an aggressive grower for me and is also currently for sale in my shop, globulosa, Hoya globulosa. You see how big this is? It's getting to the point where it's like going to be a little difficult to package and ship. Just a couple examples of very aggressive growers. Since we're talking about the shop, here's another one in my shop. This is Hoya Silver Dollar. Stunning, stunning plant. Love this one. I don't have like one mother plant of this. I have like multiple plants because I think what it was is my mother plant was hanging on the grid system here, and I chopped it back and just made it just a bunch of little pots of it. Although I do have this one, which is interesting. I've showed you guys this before. This was a propagation I made, and instead of having mostly silvery leaves like this, it popped out these beautiful mottled leaves, which I kind of love. You see the original silver leaves at the bottom, but then these mottled. I think it's really pretty. This is one of my favorite Hoyas. Just the size of these leaves and the colors, they're just outstanding. An outstanding Hoya. And it's not a fussy one, and it doesn't suddenly try to unalive itself. Just overall, it's fantastic. Love it. Love that plant. Okay, now I thought I would show you some of my favorite lacunosas. So first off, this here is the Lacunosa Louisa Silver, a beautiful silvery leaf, and as you can see, it is flowering. Oh, they're not open yet, but the lacunosas are very easy to get to bloom. Here's another peduncle on this side. Flowers. Looks like it blasted some of them, or some of them didn't open, but I don't know if they're not actually open yet, but they are there. So we'll see if, oh, this one is starting to open. So, but very enjoyable. I love lacunosas, and I could easily collect many of the varieties. I have quite a few varieties. Yeah, let me show you a few. I'll show you a few others of my favorites. They're just so hardy, and they just grow so beautifully. Here's another silvery one. This is leopard skin. Has a different look to it. It's not, I mean, it is silver like the other one, but it's different. You can tell a difference between them. And even like the mint coin, which I think I only have, I don't know that I have a propagation of mint coin. Don't think I do. I think it's only hanging on the grid system. I'll put a picture up here of what mint coin looks like. And then this one, this is the moonlight. There's so many different varieties of the lacunosas, and I love them all. Enjoy every single one of them. Especially this one. This is just a variegated lacunosa. Has a smaller leaf on it. Oh my gosh. Love this one so much. It's just gorgeous. And then there is, oh, this one's flowering. I didn't even know it till now. It is flowering. This is the Amarillo, Lacunosa Amarillo. Newer leaves will have this beautiful yellow mottling, almost like a yellow variegation to it. They kind of darken as they age. As the leaves age, they darken up. But the newer ones are this beautiful yellow and not open yet. Boy, that popped up really fast. That was not there last week. I do not remember that, or else I just didn't notice it. But that is the Amarillo. Here is another huge, beautiful lacunosa. This is the silver lime. It's called silver lime. This actually was a propagation that I made. It was supposed to be sold in my store, and for some reason I just never got around to selling it. And look at this. It's huge. It's so beautiful. Silver lime. I need to make more cuttings of my lacunosas and make them available to you guys, because yeah, I know you guys would enjoy them as much as I do, and I just don't have very many available recently in my shop. This here is the mint coin. I do have a propagation of this one, which I probably should sell in my shop because I have a big mother plant already. One of the lacunosas I'm very excited about is a new one. Just got it from Kira, and this is the Queen Midori. So she gave me a huge cutting of this plant. It almost kind of looks similar to the Mathilde variegated, only the shape of the leaves is not as rounded as Mathilde. But she gave me a big cutting of this, and I made multiple propagations of it. Yeah, I have 1, 2, 3, maybe just three pots of this I was able to make out of her generous cutting she gave me. But I'm super excited to see this one grow. So very excited. It's just so beautiful. I think I'm gonna love this one as much as I love the lacunosa variegated. I think they're gonna be very, very similar. But the leaf on this one is just a little bit more rounded than the variegated lacunosa. So yeah, and I don't think she gave me any other lacunosa types. Don't think so. Maybe I need more lacunosas, more varieties. Any recommendations? Your favorite lacunosa variety? Let me know. Because I see some cronianas. What's this? This looks like a lacunosa. And it's on the grid, but I'm not sure which one it is. Oh, that's a moonlight. I guess that would technically be my mother plant. Yeah, I think that's all my lacunosas. Thought I had more. I probably do, and I'm overlooking. This is a pretty one. It's not a lacunosa, but it kind of has the look. This is the Nummulariioides silver. Love this one so much. This is one that's a propagation for my plant shop. This is the mother plant. Love this plant. I like silver Hoyas. I enjoy a nice silver Hoya. And then, oh, this is interesting. Okay, so this here is lauterbachii, Hoya lauterbachii, and it is a very beautiful, fuzzy, super fuzzy. If you enjoy a fuzzy leaf Hoya, get yourself a lauterbachii. So when I first got my plant, this is not the original, this is a propagation. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 pots. This is my biggest pot here of this plant. The mother plant kind of struggled. I had her on the grid system. She grew pretty big, and I ended up chopping her back and making just these little pots, propagation pots. Isn't it just adorable? So this is my new mother plant right here. I probably will sell the others. Like, here's another one. I'm kind of letting it get bigger like this one so I can trellis it and then sell it when it looks like more like something like this rather than this. But yeah, this is a fun one. Can be a little bit difficult though. Just a little warning. But you know what? I still have it in my collection. I still have it, so it can't be that difficult if I still have it. Another one of my favorites that has been growing so beautifully for me, this is the Hoya verticillata silver heart. Wonderful plant. And you know, the funny thing with Hoyas, yeah, that's just like a root or a growth point. With Hoyas, whenever you see like any sort of white, so you know when Hoyas bleed, when you cut, when they get injured, they will release or leak like a white substance, and that white substance sometimes dries, well it does dry, and it can leave like white spots. And what else is a white spot on Hoyas that freaks people out? Mealy bugs. So whenever I see something that's white on a plant, I always am like freaking out that it's a mealy bug. Yeah. I actually, I don't have issues, knock on wood, I don't have any wood to knock on in here, but I don't have issues with mealy bugs. However, last week, so I told you guys I've gotten some cuttings from Kira, and she told me, and I told you on camera, she told you on camera, she does have issues with mealy bugs in her plant collection. So she was like, make sure you take these cuttings and you spray them, and she sprays them. And so I did, and you know what? Last week, two cuttings, two plants that she gave me had mealy bugs on them. Luckily, they were contained, like, and I had just caught it. I'd only had the plant for like maybe, the plants for like maybe 10 days. And I sprayed them. But you know what I think I did wrong is I didn't use a fresh, I do a homemade spray, and my spray was a few months old. And I think it just wasn't as strong as it could be or it should be. And those, whatever, those tiny little mealybug eggs or tiny little bugs were in some crevice or something, and they were able to survive. So I saw that and I freaked out. They are isolated. Those two plants are not in the grow tent anymore. They're upstairs in a bin. Just so I can keep a close eye on them. But yeah, so now whenever I see any sort of like little, like this, I was like, see this right here? Right here. From a certain angle, I was like, ooh, what's that? I haven't found any more on anything. I caught it pretty quickly. But still, you know, when you see that, you just kind of freak out that, oh my God, my whole tent's going to be overtaken by mealy bugs, but hopefully not. But yeah, anyway. I love this plant. The verticillata silver heart. Very much enjoy it. The pink that has come out on these leaves. Beautiful. Very beautiful. Okay, I think this video is getting pretty long, actually. Oh, you know what? I want to show you some Dischidias, because I do have some Dischidias in this tent, and I'm very excited about Dischidias these days. So this here is Dischidia hirsuta. And look at it, has been blooming like for months now. These beautiful hot pink flowers. They're just like all over this plant. A gorgeous, gorgeous Dischidia. Love it, just absolutely love it. I would like to get more varieties of Dischidias. Kira just recently gave me a couple more, which is awesome, exciting. I'll show you how those guys are doing that she gave me, in addition to some I already have. So here's one from her. The Papua, just species Papua unknown, it's labeled as. But I think it's rooted. And I'm watching these guys just to be sure that no other mealy bugs are popping out on them, because like I said, my spray I used was insufficient, obviously. But yeah, I think these in this bin, this is my bin from Cura Cuttings here. I think these are all in the clear. And it was just those 2 plants that were affected. But love this, just love it. Love it. Love Dischidias. Kind of reminds me a little bit of, this is Philippinensis right here. Kind of has the long leaves like that. I very much enjoy Dischidias. I really do. And then, let me put this one back. And I think she gave me, I think this might be a Dischidia. Yeah. This one here is called Carrii, Dischidia carrii. Let me inspect it. I do inspect them often. Clear. But that is Dischidia carrii. Interesting. Hasn't put out any new growth yet. Now this feels like it's rooted, this one, but a lot of, that one's rooted. That one has not rooted. And that one seems to have rooted. Yeah, that's rooted. So lightly, they have already lightly rooted for the most part. And then I think that is the only Dischidias she gave me. Pretty sure. So some more I have in my collection, and this is one of, I gave her, Kira, one of these Camagen Islands. This is another one here. Kind of a little bit shingly looking. Kind of a shingling Dischidia. Love that one. And then the classic Russifolia, variegated. And it is in bloom. I think you see the little white? Those are the little blooms. And then I also have the non-variegated version, which I love. I actually want to pot this one up and bring it upstairs. Like, yeah, repot it and maybe bring it upstairs. But this one has a lot of blooms on it. And these are fragrant. They have like a honey smell to them. Very pretty. And what other Dischidias? Oh, I have tengchongensis. You guys know about tengchongensis. Let me see. Yeah, I'm not going to grab it because I want to do a whole Dischidia video. But yeah, that's another time. We're not going to go big into Dischidias right here, right now. Okay, I think, is that all I want to show you? Here's a beautiful, oh, these are just so adorable. Kamingianas. I know they're common, but I think they're just so stinking cute. They're so cute. The shape of the leaves, love it. This beautiful, this is Hoya Matilde, pretty silvery. That's pretty beautiful. Just Hoya Matilde silver. Silver splash. It's more than just splash. I would call it silver splash or silver. This is one I'm hanging on to because I want to propagate from it. I'm just letting it get a little bigger. Yeah, very pretty. Okay. Hypolasia. Excited about this one. I think it gets really nice flowers, interesting flowers, and it gets bigger leaves. My leaves are kind of small, but it can get bigger leaves. Excited about that one. What else? This is a pretty one. This is the mini varieties. So if you know about varieties, this is the miniature version. Really cute. Let me show you the variegated version, which I also have. And it's very drippy right now, but here. Underrated plant. Just the plain old Hoya varieties. Gorgeous. Isn't it just, I mean, it's beautiful. Here's the mini. I wonder if they have a mini variegated. That would be cool. Oh yeah, look at them together. So pretty. And then comparing, okay, let me put this one back up here. Comparing the varieties with the Kentiana Lorelyn. So do you see the difference between these two? It's very subtle. The variegation on the Lorelyn is on the outside. You see that? And with the varieties, it's on the inside. This one goes for a lot more money than this one, but honestly, you guys, this is gorgeous. This one does get that pink in it, which is really pretty. But this one also has pink. I don't know, I think these are two just stunning plants. Love them. Side by side, which one do you like better? Which is your preferred variation or variegation? Oh, it's tough, but I kind of like this one better. Here is another one I absolutely love. This is the Freckles Splash. Isn't it just beautiful? I know I say that a lot, but just look at this. I mean, does it get prettier than that? I don't know. That is just gorgeous. Love this one. Very aggressive grower. Another fast, aggressive growing plant. Let's put out another growth point here also. No flowers though. I don't see any flowers. I haven't been spraying my plants. Like, I've been experimenting with the Miracle Grow Orchid spray to see if I can get my Hoyas to bloom. And I mean, I am getting some blooms on, like the Amarillo you saw. That possibly could be as a result of the orchid spray, but I'm not positive. I don't know for sure. But there was one other thing I wanted to show you. I don't remember now what it was. I thought of it, and now I've forgotten. Oh, I just remembered. One of my Polyneras, the inner variegated. Look how beautiful it is. I still haven't like repotted it since I got it. Still need to do that, but oh, this is just so gorgeous. 3 growth points on it and absolutely loving it. Okay, I think this video is long enough. Maybe I'll take you on, we'll just do like a quick I'll just, you know, we'll just go quick, real quick. We'll walk around and see some stuff. All right, so we're gonna do a quick little look around here. So this is the trellis I have. In here you can see some Coriaceae silvers growing up the trellis. Here it is over here as well. Some Campanulata splash here. And here is a, oh, what is it called? One of my favorites. I think that's Meredithii. Meredithia? I think that's what it's called. Another one of the leaves here. One of her leaves here. We have more Coriaceae silvers, some Pubicalyx pink silver ghost, I believe that one is called. Let's see. This is a beautiful, I think it's Acer, species Acer. We have some Callistophylla down here. I believe this is the black cat Callistophylla. Yeah, so many gorgeous leaves. This here is just a tricolor. Look at this. So beautiful. Look at that. Look at that. Wilburgrave silver here. We have lots of propagations. Got made a few bare spaces in here to, I just cleared out recently some propagations that just were not taking, like the serpents I told you about, how they just wouldn't grow. They're just stagnant, just way too stagnant, not putting out any new growth. Look at all these. There's a lot, you guys. There is a lot. There's even a grid system back there that is filled with plants. More space I made. I cleared out some things that just weren't growing. Over here, this here is Carmelet, Hoya Carmelet, that is growing up. Pretty crazy. That's a cute little small leaf. Love that one. Carmelet. Got some Hoya juice on my fingers. There's our pathetic serpens right there. Look at this. This is Patella pink. Some New Guinea ghost back here. More propagations I just recently made of the New Guinea ghost. Here's a clump of different Polyneras, silver, outer variegated, inner variegated, a Dischidia in bloom. I think I might end up saving this one, keeping this one to propagate from. Look at all these flowers. Aren't they beautiful? So cool. Yeah, this is a propagation I made that I'm going to hang on to so I can chop from it. I do have another one also, but yeah. Just lots and lots of stuff. And then the grid system, I have a light that is out I need to replace. But there's just so much. Freckles Splash, I believe. I think so. Yeah, that's Freckles Splash. Look at those. Beautiful, just stunning. Walleniana variegated. Hushkeliana variegated. Got some tengchongensis. More Polynera. VL9. That's a cute one. And also just the Hushkeliana yellow right here puts out the sweetest little flowers. Is it gonna focus? They're like little bonnets. Hoya juice. This is my other Dischidia, and she's up there also. And then multiflora. These blooms are done. And pull them off. Cool blooms. Whew. Oh, they're falling. Here's more over here. So pretty. All right, you guys, so I guess that's gonna do it for this one. I hope you had fun seeing all the plants, seeing all things that I have been enjoying, things I'm excited about, some things that are not so exciting and happy. There's always a balance, you know, good and bad. But yeah, thank you for joining me here today. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. We talk about a lot of different plants here. We talk a lot about Hoyas and all kinds of other plants, and yeah, so hit that subscribe button if you haven't done it yet. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.